Welcome to the Azure Data Engineering interview series. I'm your host, and today we'll be diving into incremental data loads techniques with Azure Data Engineering expert. Let's get started with this technical interview discussion. So I'm curious, what techniques do you typically use for incremental data loads from RDBMS or NoSQL sources, especially in an Azure environment?
Right. Well, for incremental data loads, I usually leverage Azure Data Factory, with change data capture when dealing with SQL Server as the source. For NoSQL, like Cosmos DB, I often use the change feed feature. Let me give you an example from a project where we were migrating financial data. We used Data Factory with an incremental copy activity. It was quite effective in syncing changes without overloading the system.
That's interesting. How do you ensure that the incremental loads are secure, particularly in a financial data context?
Actually, that's a great question. We made sure to use managed identities for secure access between services in Azure. So the Data Factory would authenticate using its managed identity to access the database. Additionally, we implemented data encryption both in transit and at rest using Azure Key Vault. Azure.
Can you come again with your answer? I'd like to understand the security implementation in more detail.
Sure. So let me dive deeper. Right. For security, we relied heavily on Azure Active Directory for identity management. The key thing is that with managed identities, Data Factory didn't need any hard-coded credentials. We also used Key Vault to manage encryption keys securely. From my experience, this setup greatly minimized the risk of data exposure.
That sounds comprehensive. How did you handle validation and error cases during these incremental loads?
Right, so we implemented a validation layer using Azure Functions that would trigger post-load. It checked data integrity and completeness. For error cases, we configured alerts in Azure Monitor to quickly notify us of any issues, and we had a retry policy in place to automatically handle transient errors.
Great. Thank you for sharing those insights from your project experience. That covers incremental data loads comprehensively. Thank you for watching this interview discussion. I hope you found it helpful for your interview preparation and career growth. For more technical interview questions and content, please follow the Clear Tech Interviews channel. Good luck with your interviews.